I'm going to look at the 2023 Leaving Cert Computer Science Section C higher level paper, which is the coding paper in Python. The first question, question 16a, when you get it, you have this code loaded on your device and it brings you through an example of what the game is about. So the first thing you're asked to do is put in your exam number, and it tells you that the program defines a function called guessGame, which simulates a guessing game. When the function is called, the program generates a secret number between 1 and 5 inclusive. This is sorted in a variable called secret number. This is stored in a variable called secret number. The program then enters a loop which the user is prompted to guess the number. The user guess is stored in the variable user guess. Every time the user enters the guess, the program increases the variable guess count by 1. If the user guesses matches the computer's secret number, the message "Congratulations, you win" is displayed. The loop continues until the user guesses the secret number. This is the code that's given to you in the exam, and when you run it, this is a sample of the output that you may receive. Now, I have that here loaded in Tani. When I press run, enter your guess, I enter 5. Congratulations, you win. I just got lucky, so I'm just going to run it again just to show you. Enter your guess, put in 4, 6, 3. It's going to keep going until I get the number. My entry is equal to the secret number generated by the computer. Now let's look at the first question. Number 1. Change the program to display an extra line of output when the user wins, showing the number of guesses taken. So the difference between the two runs is this here. You took 3 guesses, and that comes out after "Congratulations, you win." So in Tani, you're going to look at your code. "Congratulations, you win" is here, and you're going to put in a new line of code here, which is just basically print, and you took the number of guesses. So you took comma. I'm going to use my guess count variable that's already assigned in the program, and the string guesses. Now when I run it, enter my guess, it's "Congratulations, you win, you took 4 guesses," which is exactly what I want to have at the end. So I must remember then to make it easy on the examiner and put in a comment saying "answer to part 1. This is very important for the examiner. At least they know where you're attempting to answer the question. So please do make sure and put in your comments. That's part 1. Part 2. The program does not display a message unless the user enters the secret number. Change the program so that it displays one of the following message as a hint to the user. "Sorry, your guess was too low," or "Sorry, your guess was too high." When the program runs, the output may look as follows. So if their guess was too low, it's going to tell them, and if their guess was too high, it's going to tell them, until it goes into this "Congratulations, you win." So in here, the if statement is only said if user guess is equal to secret number. We want to change that. Elif user guess is greater than the secret number, we want to tell them print "that's too high." So "Sorry, your guess was too high" is what we want displayed. And if it's not equal to the number and it's not greater than the number, Now it has to be less than the number, so else you're going to print sorry, your guess was too low. Now run it and make sure it works. Sorry, your guess was too high, so I'm going to pick a lower number. Still too high. And I win. So now I'm going to just run it again to check that it works for the lower number as well. So enter my guess. I'm getting lucky. My guess was too low. I go 4, still too low, 5, and I win. So you can see that it's working for low and high. Perfect. Question number 3. Part 3. Currently the program has no way of ending unless the user guesses the secret number. Change the program so that it does not allow the user more than 3 guesses. This is the value currently being passed into the function. So if I look at Tani, down here, guess game 3. 3 is the parameter being passed into this function here. You will need to change the loop so that it continues as long as the user is not equal to the secret number and the number of guesses is less than the max guesses allowed. So at the moment, while the user is not equal to the secret number, we want to put in here and the user and the guess count is less than the max guesses allowed. You could put brackets around it, it won't really make any difference if you do or you don't. If it makes it easier to understand the two things, then go for it. Now when I run it, enter my guess, 5, that's too high. I'm going to just pick 5 again just to see will it stop after 3. So it's now finished executing. I've guessed 3 times, 1, 2, 3 times, and the program has stopped. So now it's only allowing me to do it 3 times, which is exactly what I was asked in part 3. So that is part 3 complete. What I want to make sure is that I put in my comment, answer part 3 in there. So I've answered part 1 here, answer part 3, and I should have, of course, answer part 2 here and here. Just to keep it right. Now let's move on to the next part of the question, part 4. Part 4. Currently the number of guesses that is allowed is hard-coded to 3. Modify the program so that the user presented with the prompt, enter the max number of guesses allowed. So you need to get the user to enter the input instead of it being hard-coded. Store the value entered as an integer and pass the value into the function guessGame. When the program is run, the output may look as follows. Enter the maximum number of guesses allowed. So in here, we want to ask the user to enter. It's stored as a variable. So we're going to store it as a variable max guesses allowed, because that's what we're passing in. That's an int input. Please enter the maximum number of guesses allowed. And we pass that in to our function. I'm going to just keep running it to see if it's going to work. So I've put in 5 guesses allowed. So 3 was my first guess, 2 is my second guess. I'm going to go 2 again, 2 again, 2 again, and it stopped. And I have guessed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guesses, which is correct. Now, it wouldn't make any difference if you call that a different variable name there, because whatever you pass in is going to go into this up here anyway. That is question number part 4. So let's IV. IV. So make sure and put your comments in as you're going along. Part 5. Currently the secret number is always between 1 and 5 inclusive. Modify the program so that it prompts users enter a difficulty level, E for easy and H for hard. If the user chooses H, the secret number should be between 1 and 100 inclusive. A value of anything other than H can be interpreted as easy. When the program runs, the output may look as follows. So the difference here is what's in bold. So after they enter the maximum number of guesses, they enter difficulty easy or hard. So they're going to enter E for easy or H for hard. So in Tawny, we're looking at our function here. So our function is called, the first thing that's going to happen is going to print welcome to the game. You're going to be asking them to enter the maximum number of guesses. The maximum number of guesses is passed into the function. So now we're in the middle of the function. So at this point, the secret number is equal to a random int between 1 and 5. Now we need to change that. We need to have a difficulty level, and then decide what the secret number is going to be. So I'm going to just separate this out a little bit and have a look at this. So if difficulty, so let's get the input from the user first of all and find out what the difficulty level they want. So difficulty equals an int, sorry, not an int, an input. Please enter H, E for easy, or H for hard. And then we want to decide based upon that, based upon what they enter. Now, the easiest thing to do would be to convert it to either uppercase or lowercase. Because it has the uppercase E and the uppercase H, I'm going to go with upper. And then in here, I'm going to code it if difficulty equals H, then my secret number is going to be between 1 and 100. Anything other than that is going to be easy, and our secret number is going to be between 1 and 5. Now let's run it and see does it work. Maximum number of guesses allowed, I'm going to go with 5. Please enter E for easy or H for hard. I'm going to go with easy. Enter your guess, and I'm going to go to okay, so that worked for 5 guesses for that one. And if I go with a high number, run it again, number of guesses allowed, say I just got 2 guesses allowed, and I go hard, enter your guess. 99 was too high, 20 was too low, and my game is over now. So again, this is working. I need to put in my comment, answer to part 5. And that's my answer to part 5. I can put it on top of it, or I can put it to the side of it as I have been doing. It's up to you. Once you have it any line, it's fine. I'm just going to pop it in just to keep it all the same. Once you have it in there at all, it'll do perfect for the examiner. There's one more part, I think, to part A of this question. And that's to modify the code so that if the user guesses a number that was already guessed, the following message displayed: you already guessed this number. When the program runs, the output may look as follows. So if you repeat a number, it tells you already entered the number. So that's the final part to part A of the 2023 hard level paper. So we'll have a look at that now. The best way to approach this would be to create a list, an empty list, and then add all the user guesses into that list. To add something into a list, you can append it onto the end of the list, and then compare it. If it's equal to something in the list, then you tell the user that you already guessed that number. So let's set up an empty list to begin with. Use a variable you've never used before. So guesses, or new guess, or whatever variable you want to call it. And I'm going to set up an empty list. And then I'm going to add into that list every time the user enters a guess. So that's going to happen first. So before I go into my if statement to start comparing, I'm going to set up another if. So if the user guess in guesses, I'm going to print you already guessed that number. And I'm going to append onto the end of the list guesses. Otherwise, I'm going to append onto the end of the list guesses the user's guess. And this is answer to IV. Now I run it. Maximum number of guesses I say 2. I go for easy. Enter my guess. 3. Enter your guess. 2. Sorry, your guess was too low, and I should have actually put in the same number again. Say I go 5 allowed. Easy. Enter my guess. 2. Then I enter 2 again. You already guessed that number. See that coming out there? So that is the final part of part A in the 2023 higher level computer science paper for the question 16 on Python. Thank you. looking at part B, the open program called 16B from your device, so that it's just a blank canvas. The file contains only two comments, line 1 and line 2. So you enter your exam number and you continue on. Implement a number guessing game in Python. The game requires the user to guess a random number between 1 and 100. They are awarded points based on how close they get to the number. So it's a different game. However, you can already draw similarities between part A and part B. You should use comments throughout your program to explain your code. You may wish to reuse some of the code in part A as part of your solution. The game should proceed according to the following sequence. The user score is set to 0. So let's start doing each one of these at a time. If we can break down the question, it'll make it easier for us to answer. So the first thing we want to do is remember that we have been told that the game requires the user to enter a random number between 1 and 100. So let's set this up. First of all, if we look at 16A, we know that we can reuse some of this code. So from random, import randint. We're going to need that again. We're going to set up the user score equal to 0. That's that first one ticked off. At the start of every new round, the computer generates a random number between 1 and 100. This is the secret number that the user is trying to guess. So we need to save that number then. So we need to secret number equals random int between 1 and 100, similar to what we had in the other solution. So we're going to need this line of code here, secret number equals a random number between 1 and 100. That's going to form part of it. Now we might need to put something in before that. The user is then prompted to enter a guess as shown below. Please enter your guess or enter your guess. The user guess equals input, int input, enter your guess. Calculate the difference between the secret number and the user guess. So we need a new variable, difference, or diff, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it difference equals the user guess minus the secret number. The difference between the user's guess and the secret number. Now, if the user's guess is smaller than the secret number, or if the user's guess is bigger than the secret number, one of them could be a minus. So to deal with the minuses and to disregard them, let's get the absolute value of all of that. That way we don't need to worry about whether it's a negative or whether one is bigger or smaller than the other. We're just getting the difference between them, and we don't care whether or not it's minus or not. And then we want to print out a statement. Calculate the difference. The numbers are then displayed in a meaningful image message on a single line as shown below. The secret number is whatever it is. You guessed whatever. The difference is, for example, 5. So we need a good meaningful statement here then. So it's going to be a print statement. secret number is secret number your guess is user guess. So run this and see how we're getting on. Enter your guess. So I'm going to enter 50. The secret number is 40, your guess is 50. And I don't have the difference in it, so we need to put in this here. The difference is 5. So the difference is whatever the difference is. So your guess is here. The difference is and difference. Now if I run it, enter my guess, 50, secret number is 55, your guess is 50, the difference is 5. There we go. It happened just by coincidence to be the same as the one on the exam. The numbers are compared and the score is updated according to the following rules. If the user guess and the secret number are the same, then the score is increased by 100 and the message jackpot, you score 100 points is displayed. If the user guess and the secret number are the same. So looking at our code from the previous question, you can look at this here. If they're the same, print something, else do something else. So if user guess equals secret number, same thing again. And it actually told you, remember, that you could reuse some of the code. If the user guess equals the secret number, you want to print jackpot, you earn 100 points. Something along those lines. You scored 100 points. Jackpot, you scored 100 points is displayed. Jackpot, you scored 100 points. If the user guess is within 20 either side of the secret number, the user score is increased by 20 and the message you score 20 points is displayed. So if the difference is greater than 20, you're going to say user score plus 20, because user score is set to 0 at the moment. I should have increased my user score here as well. Just finished that. So you're going to go user score user score plus equals 100. If the user guess is 20, you are going to say the user score plus 20, and you're going to print you scored 20 points. I think there's only one other else in it. If it's more than 30 away from the secret number, the score is decreased by 30 and the message you lose 30 points is displayed. So if it's more than 30, so I can put in an elif here as well, maybe for that, to put in the 30. Because you might need to change it later in the code. Might not be finished just yet. There might be another question. And that should be difference here. Sorry, difference is greater than 20, and elif, the difference is 30. Then you print the user score is decreased by 30, and print you lose 30 points. So you're taking away 30 points if that's the case. At the end of each round, the score is displayed and the user is prompted with the message, play again, yes or no. The game ends when the user enters anything other than the single letter Y. So let's at the end of each round, the score is displayed and the user is prompted with the message, play again, yes or no. So at the end, the score is displayed. So let's print that first. Your score is in your user score. And then we want to see if we want to play again. Input, play again, Y or no. So we're asking the user to play again. If play again wait, change this to lowercase. If it was lower, it was coded in here. Oh no, it's capital. So dot upper. If play again is not equal to Y, then we have to break out of the whole loop. Now all of this isn't in a loop here yet. So we've only played this once, it's only going to play once, but if we want to put it into a loop and then break out of it, what we can say is just while, what you can do is say while true, and then it'll run every time. So while true, and if we indent all of this into our loop, so just press the tab key to indent it all at once, so it moves over. So I've highlighted it all. While true, if play again equals, if play again is not equal to your uppercase Y, then you want to break out of your loop. If it is equal to it, it'll go back into it. So let's run it and check that it works. So enter your guess. I'm going to guess 50. The secret number is 59, your guess is 50, the difference is 9. You score 20 points, your total score is 20. Play again, I'm going to hit yes. Enter my guess, I'm going to say 70. And the secret number is 10, your guess is 70, the difference is 60. You lose 30 points, the total score is minus 10, your total score is minus 10. Play again, yes or no, I'm going to say no, and the game stops. So there you have part B. You can see how lots of it was reused as it told you. The only thing you need to do now before you hand up your paper is to actually comment your code in part B. So display the score, prompt the user to play again. You want to set up your comments here, secret number, so generate so you know how to comment. So just go through it and comment your way. So again, it's get user input, or user guess, find the difference. Again, just comment your whole way through it and you're finished. There you have, that's the 2023 exam paper. Thank you.